Yes, greetings, blessings, and welcome to the Justice and Healing Nyabinghi Initiative. I am your host, Dr. Wayne Rose, coming to you live from the Calabash, program right here in St. Lucia. I'm getting a little feed forward, Brother Randall, that to be corrected. Yes, and we are gathered today to have a conversation on family and how I really move beyond just the germane things and the drudgery of conversing as family and to treat each other as we deserve to be treated as good beings within a human family, but also within a Caribbean family, Have to really get rid of this negative energy that allows us to hurt ourselves. When we're in a space of justice and healing, and we still have that window of justice and healing open for the redemption of our people. So I have a message. And that message comes from one of my beloved brother who transitioned over 2 decades ago, but his message rings true. It says, love and hate can never be friends. I want you to listen to the lyrics of that song, and then we come forward with a conversation. Brother Randall, go forward, my lord. Give thanks. Take that one from the top again, Brother Randall. Give thanks.
Love and hate can never be friends. Oh no, oh no. Here I come with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Envy no one, no wish to be with no evil man. For there'll come the day when you'll be whipped by the feathers and leave up huge children. Oh yeah, leave up past children. Yeah. My head is anointed and my cup runneth over. Yeah. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow I all the days of my life. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Give thanks, my beloved Brother Randall. Give thanks, family. We may be having a little technical difficulties, but that won't stop us from having this conversation. Dennis Brown, they call him the crown prince of the reggae music genre. He says, love and hate can never be friends. And then he says, here I come with love and not hatred. I want to remind the family then of my journey, the journey that took I into St. Lucia. A journey of love for self, love for family, and the St. Lucian family becomes my family. It is my family. And based on that love, within a collective, we created a space that represents the love I and I have for the people, for our people, for the family. And indeed for myself, I'm not going to take myself out of that equation. But what we sought to do is to do a work that adds value to the lives of the St. Lucia people. And we brought in an initiative called Justice and Healing because we believe so intimately in the process of being just, in the process of being healed as not just individuals, but as a family, a unit. And so we had this conversation for over 13 months right there in St. Lucia. We built programs, we established a physical space, we brought in literature, speakers, we did lectures and tours, and we collaborated with institutions and agencies in St. Lucia so that we could share the value that we represent with the family. So we came with love, and we still love the family. But, you know, as I said before, on September 23rd, the morning, that beautiful morning, I received a message that the cultural center, the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, the space was violated, broken into by reckless undesirables who came with hate, malice, and a destructive energy to undermine the work that we started with love, to undermine the energy that we bring with us wherever we go, an energy that represents the highest value within our human experience, that of giving, sharing, adding value to our communities. Wherever I and I go, that's what I and I do. Not just as Rastafari people, but I, your humble servant, Ras Wayne, with everything else I represent, the singular thing I've always represented is love. Love for self and for the family. As I said, undesirables came in on the morning of September 23rd and broke into the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. That was a malicious, a hate-filled act. And yes, they stole property, they stole cash, but most importantly, they removed that sense of security, that sense of balance and purpose that the space represented. The space where people believe that when they come in, it's a representation of their culture, a representation of their highest self, where the history of our culture and our people is written and shared in books. The energy of our youth is mobilized in spoken word, in poetry format, where young people tell and told their stories of redemption, of justice, of love. You know, I laugh even through the pain, because it is painful to recognize that you have factions, even in the beloved space of St. Lucia, Ayanola, who would seek to undermine the gift of love that I brought into the space. You know, and so I wrote a statement on the break-in that took place, and I shared it with media. It hasn't received the coverage I expected. I invited media to participate in a press conference so that we could at least clarify and further make our public and our family understand what it is that we expect and how it is that we are going to move forward from this low point that those people who broke into the space has brought themselves to, because we stand high and victorious regardless. Remember, our mission is one of justice and healing. So when our space is violated, we're still on the mission of justice and healing. You cannot do anything to us that we have not experienced before as a people, as a collective. And so, as I said very early in our broadcast, I said Rastafari represent the people. We are the embodiment of the people. So when you try to violate our space, you're violating the people, you're violating yourself. The Ubuntu principle is that I am because you are, and therefore you are because I am. So when that violation took place, it means that you have violated yourself, but you cannot violate Ras Wayne, because first thing, you can't touch not even the button, not even the smallest portion of Ras Wayne, because I'm untouchable. I am he, Ras Wayne. And for those who don't understand what that means, it simply means that I tap into my higher self regardless. And you will never see trauma from me. What I bring with me is a gift of goodness. And regardless of who wants to receive it, the gift is there, but not forever. As I said, though, we called together once to have a conversation and to clarify the circumstance and to make those people who have really full joy, had a beautiful moment in the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, to make them aware that this has taken place. But the media has been less than responsive in the ways that we know they can respond. We're not daunted by that. We still have our own platform right here on the Justice and Healing Calabash TV station. So big out to Brother Randall and the Calabash family for, you know, the exposure and the continuation of this work so that we can share our own story, our narrative. Important to that narrative, though, is this troubling energy. Someone took our own words, our statement, they added images of Ras Wayne, and they shared it. And we're grateful for the sharing, because the media, the information being put out on the media, and this person has placed it in the international media platform. He has millions of followers. And if not millions, then tens of thousands, but they themselves share it, and it's continuously being shared. And so I'm getting information from many people saying, Ras Wayne, you all right? What happened to you, man? We hear say you get your place get violated, and we hear say you get attacked. So let me say this to the family then. The Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center was broken in at night by those cowards who travel at night, by those imbeciles who would seek their own gain from disturbing the peace and tranquility and sacred spaces that were created for the family in St. Lucia. Those low ebbs of our humanity, they are within all forms, all ethnicity, all nations, and all racial constructs. They are there. And so we're not surprised that the space was broken into. We're disappointed. But let me be absolutely clear. No one attacked Ras Wayne. By the way, the caption from the brother says, Bobo was attacked, meaning the Bobo Shanti Order, or the Ethiopia Black International Congress, or it's EA, so it's Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. The Bobo Shanti, component of the Rastafari family. That's the implication that the Bobo Shanti was attacked. And that implication is made because Ras Wayne consistently raps his head. In fact, I've been wrapping my dreadlocks for 25 or more years now. And so many people, when they see me with a wrap, they make the assumption that I am of the Bobo Shanti family. And let me tell you something, Farai, my family. I am Rastafari. And whoever is Rastafari, whether it's Bobo Shanti, Nyabingi, Ethiopian World Federation, 12 Tribe, School of Vision, and whatever affiliations people have, they are my family. And so when you attack me, or you attack the space that I operate within and the office I have in Castro St. Lucia, yes, you attacked the family. But let us be clear, no one from the Bobo Shanti family were violated. No one from the Rastafari family are violated, because we are above reproach and above victimization. But what you have done so cowardly is that you have given us pause to reflect now on how best to secure ourselves and the work that we are commissioned by our own conscience to perform. And that is to bring history, culture, and the awareness of same to the St. Lucian family and for all those who would participate with I in this space. It now gives us pause. We have to check ourselves now, because, you know, waste people are around, low-minded people, the lowest embodiment of our humanity, which I did not want to consider as part of the experience in St. Lucia, but it has been unleashed. And as my right honorable brother said to me recently, he said, well, they should expect it, Rasween, because where you have goodness on the one hand, evil will present itself on the other. But Rastafari says it's good over evil all the time. So we stand victorious even in the moment. And to share with the family unequivocally that we cannot be dissuaded. We cannot be removed. We are not afraid to stand on the integrity of our own work and our vision, and to deliver that to a deserving family, especially our family in St. Lucia. So unapologetically, we remain confident in the victory of good over evil. Love and hate, calm, my friend. Fire upon the haters. Fire on the haters. Let's take a small break, Brother Randall, and come forward to the family. We have some things to address, because it is about justice and healing. Blessed Lord. Small break and we return. Give thanks.
Come experience the creativity and innovation of our entrepreneurs at the 15th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show, happening at the Harbor Club Hotel from the 2nd to the 4th of November. Businesses from St. Lucia and Taiwan will showcase products and services ranging from food and beverage to skincare, fashion, personal accessories, renewable energy products, ICT services, and more. Our theme this year is Forging Strong Ties Through Sustainable Trade. We feature new trading opportunities for our business community with daily entertainment and lots of giveaways. Visit and support our local entrepreneurs. Experience the offerings of Taiwanese businesses. All happening at the 15th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show at the Harbor Club Hotel, November 2nd to the 4th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. See you there.
This is the year to be counting solutions reminded. We must stop at this effect.
Captain Aaron Ras Ian Alexander. I'm encouraging all Rastafari unconscious people to participate and support the population and housing census, which is being done right now by the statistical department. And of course, it is good for us to know our numbers. So stand up and be counted. The numbers will help us strategically plan for the development and advancement of our community. So it's in our benefit for us to support the census. So it's good for us to know our numbers. And also it helps the government to better plan for the development of the country. So when the enumerators come around, be friendly, be nice. Sometimes a question you might feel a bit apprehensive or a little uneasy about the question. But at the end of the day, think of the greater good. Let us all stand and be counted. After all, we are both English and Patois, and nous comptez Saint-Lucie.
Bob and Dave were very proud to buy their mom a new energy-saving fridge with lots of smart settings. They remember the old ways of energy saving. Mom always said, "Close the fridge, you're wasting current." Smart advice then, smart advice now. Close the fridge, you're wasting current. Saving energy is what's smart.
Yes, welcome again to the Justice and Healing program right here on Calabash TV. I am Ras, Dr. Wayne Rose, your host. I just shared with the family the reality that oil and water cannot mix. Love and hate cannot be friends. And therefore, as we represent love, as I and I represent love, we are calling on the forces of hatred to be dismantled, to be vanquished. Because unless you vanquish yourself, you will find that I myself and the good people of St. Lucia will vanquish you. This therefore, and this is the final piece on this, on this particular event, incident that occurred at the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. I'm going to propose right here on Calabash TV the window of justice and healing remaining open. I am proposing that a reward, a $3,500 reward, is now placed in the public arena. The Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center is placing a $3,500 reward for the return of my laptop. It's critical to our work because on that laptop, we have significant amounts of work. Including in those work are our initiatives for 2023. Now, mind you, bear this in mind. In 2022, we had a summer institute where we brought students from across the international arena and from Johns Hopkins University in particular, and staff. We brought them into St. Lucia for an immersive experience where they could see the reality of this beautiful space, St. Lucia. They could see what Rastafari in St. Lucia represent to the good will of the people and the work, the good work that Rastafari have done. Not Ras Wayne, that's you. I and I, the family in St. Lucia. That's why we say Ubuntu, because I am new in St. Lucia. But I can stand in St. Lucia because people like Mama Lavi is there. People like Bongo Wisely is there. People like Ma Jacques is there. People like the Right Honorable Priest Killers and the Right Honorable Empress of Ethiopia are there. Good people are there. So the Ubuntu principle brought I and I into St. Lucia so I could collaborate with people who have been doing the work. Yes? Bongo Vision and Ras Vision and these good people, Ras I Free and Ras Abednego, among others. Good sisters I met. Beautiful. Empress Chanel, come on. All these beautiful energies. It's because you are, that's why I am. So I need my laptop. So I'm prepared to offer, as long as My pass codes are not violated and my work is still on it. I need it. So I'm prepared to offer $3,500, $3,500 if you're prepared to return it in the conditions that I expected. Because that work is critical. My 2023 agenda is already set based on the reception we received from the people and the representatives of the people. And I'm proud that we met with the Right Honorable Prime Minister Pierre, the Right Honorable Minister of Commerce, Emma Hippolyte, the Right Honorable Minister of Tourism, our beloved Dr. Ernest Hilaire, among many others, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Labor, and oh, come on, we met with good people and we want to continue that work. What was most impressive in our meetings with the Prime Minister is that he says that education is one of his top priorities. I'm an educator for many decades now. So I am motivated to keep bringing value, adding value to St. Lucia. So I'm already planning our next move for next year, our summer camp, where we have students from Howard University against students from Hopkins University, against students from the University of the West Indies wanting to come into spaces to share in what the blessing and the value and the beauty and the culture represented by St. Lucia and our Eastern Caribbean spaces, and our Caribbean spaces in general. Returning my laptop will assist in that endeavor because the work is there. And some people say, well, so why you want a laptop? In a bucket up on cloud or in a bucket up on Google? You would have to know in order to really know. Yes, what we have as work in progress, we put a lot of work in that, not anticipating that the mean-spiritedness of the enemy from within would violate such treasure that I started to work on. Among our projects, we have a woman empowerment project that we believe is critical to especially our sisters who may have had, challenges, early pregnancies, little, schisms within the penal system, people who cannot find employment. We have a plan that we believe would be good to bring to the ministries and to bring to communities that will engage them, that they can see value in St. Lucia, in the products of St. Lucia that so many people internationally need. We have it written there on the laptop. We need it. I need it. We also have a project that, in fact, we proposed it because I got a copy of it saved. And I could propose it and share it with our beloved sister, who is president of the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari. That project will engage the message music from our culture and to use that as an intervention into crime and violence and some of the distresses that our people face. To use the message then, not just for the entertainment and the dance and the fun, but to use the message to inform the actions of the next and the new, where we pivot away from the malicious and disheartening activities that takes place in our cities and towns and communities. And we integrate ourselves in the guide that comes through our culture, comes through our Africanness, where we see community and we build as community, not as just individuals. So we have an empowerment program that addresses community concerns, and then utilizing that as a cottage industry to build something of value to the St. Lucian family. We have it right there on the laptop. You're going to search for it now. If you violate it, you won't get me $3,500. But it's that important to I. And in fact, and this is a challenge to those good people in St. Lucia, including those who really govern St. Lucia. The space which we spend tens upon tens of thousands of dollars to build and create an optical energy and a sensation of goodness, it's violated. And we're not complaining, we're not bawling, we're not quarreling, we're not fighting, but we're saying perhaps it creates an opportunity for us to look at some of those underutilized spaces. Because what you see I and I did for that space on Jeremy Street, can you imagine if we get bigger space? We get spaces that are more welcoming, so it's not as trafficked, and the horns and the noise and the bars and the loud, disturbing music, but families can come into a space and have a tranquility, can read without the annoyance and the nuisance of loud noises. You were saying perhaps it's an opportunity to engage I and I for utilizing spaces where we will bring our own value and add to those spaces, even if it's a shell. We'll take a shell and we'll make a heaven out of a shell. We have that capacity. We've done it before. So when some would, even through their own affinity towards I and I, declare that we have been attacked, and they themselves are so up in arms because they're upset. People are upset that someone would have the audacity, or some people would have the audacity to attack our space. And by the way, I heard that some people right in our own family may have been celebrating because we call for justice and healing, and then our space got attacked. But my family, if you celebrate that, then I rebuke you strongly. Because when we call for justice and healing, we anticipate all this. In fact, we thought it would happen during the period that we were unpacking our own programs. But it happened immediately after. And you know what else happened immediately after? The judgment on many have been happening. This is not a judgment on I. It is an attack, a failed attack. Because no life is lost, no limb is injured, no emotion or ego is bruised. And our mantra is that it all works together for I and I good, and for the good of the people I and I seek to serve. So I call on you then, team, family, if you know the space and you think that we are of value to the spaces that we have occupied before, then engage us, because we want to keep adding value in St. Lucia. As I said before, St. Lucia is special. But some people can't see it because they would want to micromanage things and look at a small computer which has value, and a boom box which has value, and an amount of cash which is value. But that is small compared to the impact we can have on the lives of young people, on the lives of families and communities. The impact we can have in building St. Lucia as the giant that it ought to be. It really is, but it's becoming even greater, larger in outlook and in productivity in the Caribbean and across the world. That's the vision I see in St. Lucia, the potential. And it's already activated by those people who overstand themselves, both in leadership and in communities. So I salute them and remind them that I and I is here as a resource, undaunted, unquenched, and still blazing as hot as ever. Because as I and I say, the Ubuntu principle brought I and I into St. Lucia, sustained I for 14 months in St. Lucia, and will sustain our continued work in St. Lucia and across our region. The work is just started then, family. Work with us. bear with I and I. Use the message music. And this is something that we're going to launch right in St. Lucia. You know, we're going to let young people realize that the reggae music that we have and the music with the drums and the harps of Rastafari that we utilize for spirituality can also be used as a center to restore our Africanness, restore ourselves to our own culture, our own vine and root, so that we don't get up in arms about France and England and what is happening there, but we can be up in arms about Ayanola and what is happening here in Ayanola and what it represents to the rest of humanity. Because as small as people say Ayanola is, and it is small, beautifully so, but it's packed with power, yes, and opportunities, yeah, and can highlight what a collective strength of African beauty, love, and discipline can represent for the rest of our family and community. Be proud then, Ayanola, as I am proud of you. Be thankful then, Ayanola, as I'm thankful for you. And collectively, let us condemn the actions of those who thoughtlessly, irresponsibly, and maliciously broke into the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center. And this moment for me then is a further moment of forgiveness, because without forgiveness, healing is difficult. So let me tell you, I forgive you, those of you who broke in, and especially those of you who may have rejoiced at the break-in. I forgive your ignorance. I forgive your folly. And I welcome you into my own fold of goodness. And I still have a $3,500 reward for the return of my equipment. Incidentally, instead of joining I in my media press conference, a good faith brother sent us a message from one of the media houses. I won't say which one, but we accept it as a good energy. But he scolded the language that we use, because we described that whomsoever broke into our center may have been purposely looking for our laptop because they ignored equipment that was worth tens of thousands of dollars. And in other words, the brother was saying, but if you point out that you have equipment worth $10,000, maybe they'll come back and break into the center again. And I understand that sentiment. And let me say this to the brother who left the voice note. Thank you for your voice note. And for others who may feel the same way, thank you for your thoughtfulness. But let me also say this, family. When I write a statement, I write it with intention. I write it with clarity and purpose. So the language I wrote was for the purpose that it served. Yes? And we shall all know in the sweet by and by. Meaning the revelation is coming. It's not behind us. It's coming. What I would admonish those perpetrators of the injustice to do then is just, if you can find a window in the same darkness that you exercise your evil, we can create a neutral space that you can just drop off our laptop and you say when and where you want to get our $3,500 and we make it happen. We're not incentivizing your evil. We're saying it's a small window of justice and healing that remains. Because if you don't do it, the penalty will be severe. It's already severe on you. because the losses you will face just by virtue of touching the Lord's anointed property, it's going to be severe. But we can mitigate the severity of that by our own prayers and supplications on your behalf. Do good then, because the window is fast closing. It's more justice and healing, we say, you know. So while I talk, I only talk as a member of this family to let you know that I won't come down on you with lightning, brimstone, and fire yet. Not happening yet. Because in my heart, that's not what I desire for you. Said this before, my desire, and I'm quoting Dennis Brown in song now, but my desire is for you to return my property, for you to be true, strong, and stand on integrity and discipline, so that together we can plan what must happen next in St. Lucia for the redemption and the forward progress of a beautiful nation and a beautiful people. With that being said, family, Brother Randall, give us a small break and we return to just seal this portion of our Justice and Healing program. Blessed love, family. Rastafari.
This is the year to be counting, solutions reminded. We must stop at this effect.
Jean Saint-Lessy, ça zot fait. Non, moi c'est Jason Bachelor Joseph. Et moi c'est officiel dans le département d'éducation qui est responsable pour le programme musique là dans l'école là. Moi venu ici expressément pour encourager tout Saint-Lessien pour participer au recensement population pays pour 2022. Pour si en tous les cas, personne ne peut côté dire, information ça là important et qui est nécessaire. Et pour y accomplir le projet ça là et faire bien, tout le monde obligé de participer. C'est comment y aider les. Merci en d'avance tout le monde pour s'y poser.
Look at Saint-Lessy.
Come experience the creativity and innovation of our entrepreneurs at the 15th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show, happening at the Harbor Club Hotel from the 2nd to the 4th of November. Businesses from St. Lucia and Taiwan will showcase products and services ranging from food and beverage to skincare, fashion, personal accessories, renewable energy products, ICT services, and more. Our theme this year is Forging Strong Ties Through Sustainable Trade. We feature new trading opportunities for our business community with daily entertainment and lots of giveaways. Visit and support our local entrepreneurs. Experience the offerings of Taiwanese businesses. All happening at the 15th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show at the Harbor Club Hotel, November 2nd to the 4th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. See you there.
Bob and Dave were very proud to buy their mom a new energy-saving fridge with lots of smart settings. They remember the old ways of energy saving. Mom always said, "Close the fridge, you're wasting current." Smart advice then, smart advice now. Close the fridge, you're wasting current. Saving energy is what's smart.
Yes, greetings and blessings again, and welcome to the Justice and Healing program right here on Calabash TV. I am your host, Ras Dr. Wayne Rose, and we are here to seal up this component of our program. We have been talking about a breaking into the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, and as much as it has bothered us, we have also represented that we're beyond being bothered. We're beyond arguments of malice and cursing and threatening. We're not going to do any of those things. We don't need to. We really don't need to. What we have called on is for further healing, is for justice. And so, you know, I know there are good solutions out there, and I'm going to ask, in fact, I've asked our producer just to open the lines a bit. And for those who don't know the number, it's 451-9349. Again, 451 9349 and 453-1730. Of course, if you're calling from outside of St. Lucia, you have to put a 1758 in front of that. That's the country code. But give us a call. Talk to Ras Wayne and the Calabash TV family about how you feel. What has been the impact of the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, the impact of our conversations, of our work in St. Lucia. You know, we have done a lot of good work, and we're not patting ourselves on the back, but we can evaluate for ourselves and be fair and just to ourselves. And so we know what we have done. Not Ras Wayne alone, but a team of good people who I have worked with over the past 16 months or more now in St. Lucia. So I look forward to hearing from you so that I could just get some measure of how the family feels. And if you don't feel good about what we have done, you can call and say that to you. I may hang up on you, but you still can call. The doors are open wide, the lines are open wide, and Ras Wayne bid you join us in a conversation. Give us a call, fan or foe, friend or enemy, don't really matter. A conversation now could change your position from negative to positive and from positive to more positive. So give thanks, family. We look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, let me reiterate that because of the break-in, some of our programs have been delayed, have been placed on the margins, because security is not just an optic where you look at a place and say, yeah, man, the place looks secured because they have triple lock and mud. No, it's also a feeling, it's an energy, it's a sense of security. And the violation has challenged that sense of security. So even though the Food of Seven ITIL hotspot still operates on the ground floor, and they themselves were violated, robbery of resources took place there. But for the most part, they continue to do their work and have a finite time. You get in and you get out, and it's daytime, and the cowards will ignore or will not jump into that space in daytime. But for the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, we do multiple programs. We do screenings, we do poetry slams. I mean, we do film screenings. We created our own documentary. Now, did you know? By the way, one of these programs, we'll utilize it to virtually screen the documentary Revelation, revealing the truth of restorative justice for Rastafari in St. Lucia. It's beautifully done by our beloved Kurt Odison, a filmmaker from South Africa, and also adjunct staff at Johns Hopkins University. Beautifully done. So we'll go screen that right on Calabash TV so you can have a view virtually. And we'll also screen it in the space that we'll occupy. But I'm saying we have done film, we have done poetry competitions, essay competitions, we have done readings, and you know, we open the space, fashion, all different kinds of things to engage the St. Lucian family. And people came in and stayed for lengthy periods of time. Many of those people no longer feel safe. They no longer feel the sense of safety, the feeling of safety, even if the optics remain beautiful. And that is the challenge for us at this time, because some of our programs have had to be delayed. In fact, on the 20th, Thursday the 20th, we should be having our poetry slam competition for the month of October. That is now onshore, but we're working on it. We're trying to encourage the family, because even if we will leave the space, and I'm not saying that we shall, but it feels less than it ought to be. Yeah. And we'll work with those people who will work with us in making sure that we get appropriate space. But for now, we're there. We still have a presence, but it's not a good feel for the programs that we have planned. And especially, and I'll tell you this and overstand it, We bring people from outside of St. Lucia to add value to St. Lucia. I myself, although I brag about being a St. Lucian, everyone know that I wasn't born there. And some people would recognize from the way I talk that, you know, I'm a son of the universe, so a son of the earth. So I don't like claiming spaces. I go in so many spaces. I speak so many languages. Well, not fluently, but a little bit. But I have all of these things. So the energy is that we want to make sure that the family feels secured. And so for the people who can assist with creating that space of security where we can advance our work so that when we bring people from outside of St. Lucia, they have that sense of security and they don't have the baggage of the violation of our space as part of the narrative of where they come in. And we because of the success we had in St. Lucia in 2022, we are now positioned to bring significant value. In fact, I'm going to be the first to declare it right here. I am going to have a conversation about how I can really help the Ministry of Education and that great minister in his portfolio of work, because he has a lot of good work to do. And we want to be of value, to help. And those are the discussions I'm having with my colleagues and peers from multiple spaces across North America, the Caribbean, and Europe, where we're saying, let us bring a team and let us write and propose and work with. We're prepared to do that. Yes, we want to add the value. Of course, we want to have justice in that value for all who are involved, including ourselves. But we're prepared to create the sample, make St. Lucia the sample space that is coveted. Not maliciously so, but people look and say, boy, I love that space. Look at what they've done with the education system in history and culture and science and math and, yes, sociology. We have it and we can bring it and we're prepared to bring it, and this don't change a darn thing. Your breaking in has only strengthened our resolve, but it has also made us thoughtful and therefore present this as a request for further engagement so that I can provide the space, create it, and then strengthen the feeling of security. So when we bring people in, we can have a space that they can be proud of culturally, socially, geographically, physical geographics in St. Lucia that represents the ethos of St. Lucia, so that we're not just surrounded by rum bars and I'm not licking the man who wants to take a drink of his rum. But, you know, even the very scripture says strong drink is a mock. So be careful what we're doing, family. And when we're promoting certain things, you want to take a sip here and there, it's up to you. But, you know, we have to be mindful that there needs to be balance. And we were intentional in bringing our work in that space because it's a beautiful space. But you have violated that space. And because all things work together for I good, we'll just escalate from your violation. We'll create new value and add new optical beauty to spaces, even if they're not as beautiful right now. But my call, direct call, is to those people who have those spaces or who have the privilege of passing forward the opportunities for us to engage space where we can add value. We'll take a shell and build it out. I'm prepared to do that. So that when my team comes into St. Lucia in 2023, they have the next and the new, because we're done with the old. The injustices are done. The trauma is behind us. And therefore, we're on to more justice, more healing, and love for our family. St. Lucia, I have long declared my love and commitment to you. In fact, humanity knows of my love and commitment, because wherever I go where we have our people, we share the love. And we share of our talents, our resources. Hey, listen, we brought in thousands of dollars worth of books on African history, on Caribbean history, on our culture. And I myself donated over 300 books from my own library. So we're not saying to pat ourselves on the back, you know. We're not saying that I can do that anytime, anywhere. But our spirit took us into St. Lucia based on the Ubuntu principle, gave I and I a family that we're proud to be associated with. And yes, here and there, little drama and trauma. Some people disagree with you on this and that, and some people want to rewrite history, as you know, we expect them to want to rewrite history. My goodness, we have seen the malicious nature of people wanting to rewrite history. But history lived and experienced cannot be rewritten, even if you give it new words. So those who came among us and ate and drank and laughed and toted and burned and had a good time because they perhaps are rebuked by their own sense of injustice, want to rewrite history. We rebuke those kinds of nonsense because we will rebuke it anywhere it happens. So we rebuke it even in St. Lucia as it happens. And by the way, if any of you are responsible for the break-in, you will know who Farai really is, because Farai is. Yeah, man. He is the power from within I and I, the goodness from within I and I. So be very careful. If you are the ones who cause this trauma in the space, just free up yourself and just return the things. We're still going to give you the money if our passwords and our materials are still honest. So we give thanks. We love St. Lucia. We're not going to hype up anything. We're simply saying our call for justice and healing remains a call for goodness and good people to continue adding value to this vision in St. Lucia, to service to the St. Lucian people, and therefore to service to ourselves, because St. Lucia is I am, and because I am, St. Lucia is. Therefore, family, let me say, one love, one heart. Let us not just come together, but let us work together for the good of our humanity, starting with St. Lucia. It's a blessed love, family. I am Ras, Dr. Wayne Rose, your host on the Justice and Healing Initiative. Blessed love until next time. Rastafari, give thanks.
Come experience the creativity and innovation of our entrepreneurs at the 15th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show, happening at the Harbor Club Hotel from the 2nd to the 4th of November. Businesses from St. Lucia and Taiwan will showcase products and services ranging from food and beverage to skincare, fashion, personal accessories, renewable energy products, ICT services, and more. Our theme this year is Forging Strong Ties Through Sustainable Trade. We feature new trading opportunities for our business community with daily entertainment and lots of giveaways. Visit and support our local entrepreneurs. Experience the offerings of Taiwanese businesses. All happening at the 15th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show at the Harbor Club Hotel, November 2nd to the 4th, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. See you there.